Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Flash Zellow, Fiction Done Fast, the show where I take a bunch of writing prompts from my friends and turn them into one-page short stories for your entertainment. So I got an angle on the beard. I was talking with my fiance earlier today. I was like, well, I really want to shave, but I kind of want to I want to keep it so I can get a haircut and a shave. I want to get vaccinated so I can get a fucking haircut and then I'll get a shave. That's the plan. So, surprise, right? We haven't done a 2:30 stream in, I don't know, better part of a month maybe, or more than a month. Definitely more than a month. We've been slowly creeping. First it was 2:30 and then we hit 3 for a while. And then 3 became 4 and then it just was somewhere between 5 and 6. It's fine. So I've completely thrown off anybody who, was getting used to one schedule. I'm tripping you up. I'm throwing you a curveball. Guys, I'm tired. I'm sure you're very used to me saying that. But got up first thing in the morning to go grocery shopping for the week. So try and hit the local Walmart before. I don't know why I said local. Now I'm hyperfixating on it. We always hit the Walmart first thing Sunday morning, try and avoid as many crowds as possible. So, but it has the unfortunate side effect of wake up, we gotta wake up. It's no, we don't. I haven't woken up this early since high school, and I don't appreciate it. Also, fuck high school schedules, man. Now that I'm an adult looking back on it, I'm like, why do we do this? There's nothing that suggests that this is good for kids. This does not help anybody. It doesn't help the teachers either. This schedule is stupid. There you go. Shane Zellow, 2021. This schedule is stupid. Alright. Well, come on, guys. The chat's not moving. What am I supposed to do with this? Am I supposed to just skip to the writing part? Bah! Oh, how about this? Anyone watch the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer? I have a sword now. Oh, that's... First thought that went through my head is oh, that's not good. That's dangerous. And the next thought that went through my head was, oh, you have a sword now, because you're a moderator. Right. I was like, oh god, who gave her a sword? And then my thought was, why am I worried about Scarlet Fury having a sword? She seems responsible. And then I remember that you and I bring out the dumb in each other. And I'm gonna say something stupid. If you had a sword. You might have a sword. But if we were together and you had a sword, I'd end up stabbed with it. Because of a bit gone wrong. I have 2? Okay, technically one of them is Cassie's, but it's the Sword of Godric Gryffindor. And Cassie is a Hufflepuff. I don't know if you noticed. There's a Hufflepuff banner behind me. So this is definitely mine. One of them is Cassie's butt. Huh. Also Hufflepuff. Fucking Hufflepuffs. Isn't Dune Harper also a Hufflepuff? Dune Harper feels like a Hufflepuff. A Gryffindor surrounded by Hufflepuffs. I don't remember. Come on, he's definitely a Hufflepuff. So, have you seen that man cook? So, although, that said, just checked, he's a Hufflepuff. It's because I know I love him more than you. This is true love, is knowing each other's Hogwarts houses. Also, just anytime Harry Potter comes out, gotta reiterate, fuck J.K. Rowling, fuck TERFs. Yeah. So it is a real shame that our generation, grafted our personalities so hardcore, or grafted Harry Potter onto our personalities so intensely. Because then it's because yeah, man, it's hard to death of the author that. I saw some people try, and one, death of the author is it's a theoretical practice. It's a theoretical can't think of the word. A theoretical lens through which to view art, but it's not a practical way to engage with it. Anyways, I have another sword floating around somewhere. It's a katana, I think. So, it was a gift. I don't know exactly where I think it's over there on the bookcase. Should I go get the other sword? Of course. Okay. So I don't know if you met. I think you met Joe, my friend Joe, back in Vegas. This was his. So, 1 month when I was working for him, he couldn't afford to pay me, so he gave me this and a bag of books. So, I miss him. Good times. And then I've got various knives and shit. It's a real shame that Little Druid's not here because she has a whole sword wall. I will have to try and see if she can send me a picture so I can show you, so you can show her, and but you guys can talk about your swords and horse girl stuff. The Venn diagram of horse girl to Lord of the Rings fan to sword girl, it's just a circle. Good. Appreciate that, Scarlet Fury. I was just like, what? That lag is just enough to destroy me in conversation. The other night when it was really busy, I was actually doing a little bit better, but when it's almost exclusively me monologuing, it gets really hard to, because people respond to something that they think is funny, and then I'm sitting there going, what? There's a surprising number of nerdy horse girls. There were a bunch of horse girls in college that wanted to start a D&D group. Oh, that sounds horrifying. See, I don't really know much about, I don't know what to call it, horse girl culture, but I did watch, Jenny Nicholson is a YouTuber that I'm a big fan of, and she did a video about the last BronyCon. And I'm assuming Horse Girls and Bronies are not the same group, but I'm just going to pretend that all the things I learned from Jenny Nicholson's BronyCon video it's applicable. Most of it. It's got to be about the same. Right? How different can these things be? She also did like a 2.5 hour video, or it was a very long video about Vampire Diaries, and I watched all of it. Never saw a single episode of Vampire Diaries. Yeah. 2 hours, 33 minutes. And guess what? It does not sound like a show I would enjoy very much. And today I watched Patrick Willem's video about the OC, but it was only half an hour long. Also a show I don't care about. Anyways. Oh, I see a cat. Although they rush behind. Oh, it's Jagger. So this chunky cat boy is, he's actually not a stray, turns out. He is just a fat ass who lives up the street and comes here to eat all the other stray cat food. Yeah, I'm talking about you piece of shit. You fight with all the other cats, even though you're not actually... It's fine. He's like a super sweetheart to us. He's super cuddly, super friendly with people, but he's like such a shit to the other cats that's like, we have to stand in and referee to make sure that he doesn't steal all their food. And if they don't finish, we just put their food back in the bag. Because he's going to eat it anyway, but even though he's, like, got 10 pounds on all of them. Anyways. So, how about we jump in and see what prompts we got? I think Scarlet Fury is still dying inside that because I compared Horse Girls to Bronies. I'm assuming I just that cut so deep. Okay. So, we still have a fair number of prompts. We've got so many prompts. I'm trying... so many. Did I get a new prompt since the last stream? I don't remember. I don't know if you guys could hear that. That's one of my roommates. He is hard of hearing, and as a result, he slams everything. He gets up like between 5 and 6 in the morning, slams doors. It's great. So fucking great. Okay. So we got 29 prompts to choose from today. As is the usual, we will be doing 2. Did you talk to him about it? I have not talked to him. It's been years. I've never had a conversation with this person since the first week he moved in. It's been a long couple years. We just kind of pretend... We just pretend each other don't exist. It's great. Isn't having roommates so much fucking fun? The one time I asked him about something, he stared at me and walked away and ignored it. So we had to talk to the property manager to get it resolved. No, he brought, the week he moved in, he installed a bunch of ultrasonic pest repellers that were very not... For 2 weeks, it was just this high-pitched screeching sound anytime we were, like, outside of our room. Yeah. They were definitely not ultrasonic. And it was, we tried to ask him, like, hey, did you... We didn't know what it was at first. This guy moved in, and suddenly, you know, within a couple of days, there was this horrible sound, you know, in the kitchen, in the living room. It was driving us mad. And when I caught him one evening, I was like, hey, did you install, like, something on the computer or something? Because, like, there's this high-pitched whining sound, and it's dry, you know, it's awful. And he just stared at me and then just walked away. And I was like, okay, cool. And when we talked to the property manager, and it's one of those things, it's not even because, like, he's hard of hearing, and I don't even think that's it. Or I don't even think that is involved necessarily, because, like, our property manager couldn't hear them either. It wasn't until I like, sent her, I had sent her, like, a video or something. I basically was like, hey, I don't want to be, like, in, I don't remember what I said, actually, fuck it, but I sent it, and she was like, I didn't hear anything, but my kids immediately freaked out, because kids, younger people, like, as you get older, that higher register goes away just naturally as you age, so, like, she couldn't hear shit, because she'd actually come by, and she's like, I don't hear anything, and I was like, no, I swear to God, there's a sound here, I'm not insane. And, yeah, her kids freaked out, because we're like, oh, God, turn that off, what is that? And, that's how we got that resolved, but, like, trying to talk to him just didn't go anywhere. So, and, you know, I've never seen him with a mask. Never seen him with a mask. But hey, his packages from the NRA haven't stopped showing up, so definitely wouldn't be surprised to find out that I don't really have a lot in common with this gentleman. Anyways. Well, we've killed... Oh, shit, it's been 18 minutes. Alright, well, we better jump into this. I feel like... Scarlet Free, do you have any idea... Hey, do you know how Twitch works? 'Cause I don't. No, do you have any idea... I think I might ask Coffee Quills next time I pop into her stream. I want to see if she, or I want to see what timer she uses for her streams to do the 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. I don't want to do that necessarily, but I like the idea of being like, popping in and being like, hey, I'm going to spend like the next 10 minutes just kind of futzing about and hanging out and, you know, being a shit. And then, all right, 10 minutes up, I'm going to go work on a prompt. And then just go until the prompt is finished, and then maybe take like 10 minutes to just kind of hang out, assuming hanging out can occur. And then just, so instead of doing 10 minutes on, 10 minute off, 10 minute on, 10 minute off, just make timed breaks in between so that I'm not, maybe me rambling gets a little more, coherent? Thomas the Ginger Cat. Hey, how goes? I was about to start reading the prompts we got today, and then plan is to write one. How you doing? That was my alarm to start streaming. Hey! Do you make your own prompts? No, I pester my friends until they give me prompts. Except for Scarlet Fury in the chat there. Because I just had to tell her that other people had given me more prompts than her, and her natural competitiveness she's just kept me getting prompts this whole time. Just one person I never had to pester. Other people, I'm like, please, God, give me something. So. We've got a fair number. I think we've gotten, like... I counted at one point and have subsequently forgotten. But we've had, like, 15... between like 10 and 15 friends give me prompts. I can always tell when it's when I need to stop, because like if I hit somebody up, I did this with my sister. I was like, hey, you're creative, can you give me some prompts? And she was like, I will think on it. And I was like, this is code for no, I won't. So, and that's fine. Like I'm not like, I think it's funny, but it's because it's one of those things of like, oh, I don't want to say no, but I need a way out of this. So if I ever want to scare her, I just hit her up like, hey, did you ever think of those prompts? So, all right, I'm going to read through these, and we'll go from there. So Tincture dropped us noir detective-style story about a character stuck in a Home Depot. Tincture also gave us, he was stuck in a house for a year with only a box of sociopathic cereal to keep him fed. How will he reason with the grains in time to not starve? Only time will tell in the next thrilling episode of The Serial Killer. Veramat89, who for a while there was our number one prompt generator, before I believe he has been overtaken by Scarlet Fury. Pour one out. The Angel of Death has a serious sit-down with his inept younger cousin, Natural Selection. Buy one. Get one free. Chillabitten gave us, in the lonely depths of January in the mountains upstate New York, a woodsman finds a typewriter buried in the snow. Medieval adventurers sitting around a table at the local tavern try one-upping each other by telling their best adventures. Swooby gave us, you're incredibly good at making decisions, but only in a very narrow field, and you're bad at the rest of the decisions. Alex B gave us a series of prompts. She gave us, we're going to have to find a locksmith, an impulse buy leading to intergalactic warfare. No one is too ordinary for our agency. The floor tasted like... The copy machine broke down in the middle of printing, which made this the third worst thing that has happened to me this morning. You have no idea who I am, do you? Do you have any idea who I am? Okay, I'm going to tell the story because it's an urban legend. I don't want to use it for the prompt. Maybe use it as like inspiration, but there's an urban legend about a guy taking a test, and like one of those blue book tests at university, and the moderator sees him cheating, and when he goes to turn in the blue book at the end of the test, the moderator like holds out her hand and is like, I need you to hand that to me. I saw you cheating. And the guy looks at her and goes, do you have any idea who I am? And the moderator goes, no, should I? And he goes, good! And he grabs the stack of blue books and throws them all up into the air with his and books it out the door. Oh, man. It was this great urban legend book, and I tracked it down once. It had a picture. It was a silver cover, and it had it was the backseat axe murderer on the cover. So it was like woman, I think it was driving toward the cover, and in her, looking in her rear view, and like there was a guy with an axe in the backseat. And I picked that up as a kid because I had just seen the movie Urban Legend, the fucking slasher movie. that had Jared Leto in it, of all fucking people. And I was like, oh, urban legends sound like such a cool thing. And I picked up the book, and most of them were not... yeah, obviously you've got your, like, horror urban legends, but a lot of them were just really funny. The other good one was a guy taking an ornithology test. And, something. I don't remember if the professor was supposed to be, like, really bad or something, but the guy was struggling with the test where you were supposed to identify birds based on their legs and nothing else. And at the end, so the guy gets pissed and storms up to the desk. He's like, this fucking test is bullshit, man. And the professor looks up and goes, and you are? And the guy looks at him, pulls up his pant leg, shows off his calf, and goes, I don't know, you tell me. Anyway, so, yeah. You have no idea who I am, do you? There's such a good urban legend that you could kind of build around that. The other one I really like, and this is the last one, because I don't remember. This was all, like, back in elementary school. This was, like, early 2000s. But somehow I still remember a fair number of these. It was a guy wrote a paper about whether or not hell was exothermic or endothermic. And I've seen this again since then, which is why I remember it as well as I do. But it was the idea of, well, it really depends on whether or not hell is expanding faster or slower than the... Because we have to assume that souls have a certain amount of mass. So if hell is expanding faster than the rate of incoming souls, then there will be a drop in pressure and hell will freeze over. And therefore hell will be endothermic. But if hell is expanding slower than the rate of souls entering hell, then the pressure will build until all hell breaks loose, at which point we can determine or conclude that hell is, in fact, exothermic. And I fucking love stories like that. They make me real happy. So, you dragged me into this hellhole, but you can't make me leave. The blue wall is all he can... And then we pop over to Dune Harper's prompts. The blue wall is all he can look at. If looks at anything else, all he can see is his sun. White blood cells protect the body against germs through rap or poem battles. Hades is real sick of dealing with all the deaths his brother Zeus causes. Romeo is into men, but is too socially anxious to tell Juliet. Poncho and Lefty try to rob a bank. Poorly. Excuse me. An espionage agent tries really hard to not be Solid Snake in a mission, but fucking can't. A local play of Hamlet, but both the lead and their understudy got in an accident, so an extra has to wing it. I know my name, he said in a faint whisper, arms wrapped over his head. My name is Harry. He knew his name, but he couldn't remember who he was. And the alternate version? My name is Jonas, he repeated again and again because he could not get the goddamn song out of his head. Little Noise Marine dropped us a man suffering with extreme depression while being overjoyed. And then a few more back and forth from Dune Harper. A hitman takes on a target known only by few indicators. When he identifies the target, the hitman realizes the guy looks just like him. And a person goes insane sitting in the car waiting for someone and has an anxiety-induced mini-trip. A woman is at work when she notices an old landline emergency phone hanging on the wall. She's never really paid attention to it before, thinking it must no longer be connected, when it suddenly rings. So the fun thing about this one, it reminds me a lot of, you get your, like, Twilight Zone or Twin Peaks or Outer Limits, plenty of stories like of this variety, but the one that it actually reminded me of the most, Scarlet Fury, are you familiar with the video game Control? Excuse me. I will send you something, a trailer or something, because I've been trying to get Dune Harper to play this game since it came out. I was like, this is amazing! You have to play this game! And I just don't think money has allowed for it. It's, try and imagine if the Men in Black dealt with Lovecraft instead of aliens. And that's kind of what Control feels like. And I love it. Should have a phone like that at work. Apparently it used to ring randomly and people would run to try and answer it. All right. I like it. Sounds interesting. Don't you mean interesting? No, I meant interesting. All right, Dale. This is Dale. This is what Dale do. Let's see, maybe I can... Trying to bring up... It's not much, but just this GIF, I feel like really encapsulates so much about this game. I feel like I always want to say things just in case I'm in your pocket. So I'm like, no, there's the thing. There's a visual component, it's worth seeing. Yeah, I fucking love this game. That was probably my, like, game of the year. For me personally, I don't play a lot of games, so like, don't fucking at me. Like, you're only in my pocket while I'm horsing on work chores. So horsing to porson chores, Erskine Burskin, Hergen de Burgender. We watch in real time as Shane turns into the Swedish chef, also known as having a stroke. Hergen Burgendergen. But yeah, no, I fucking love that game. So good. What did you walk into? What did you walk into? What am I doing? Where am I? What is this? No, I was I even reading aloud? I think I was just saying something and I just started stumbling over my words and ran with it. Oh, no, I was reading your chat. I can't actually hear what you guys say in the chat. I just think I can. Welcome. Is it I Kevin W? Kevin W. How's it going? Well, what brought you to our stream today? And apologies in advance. Well, while you're typing that up, I'm going to finish. I think I got recommended. I got it in recommended. All right. I think that's the first time that's happened. I mean, you might have noticed with the truly overwhelming number of people in the viewing right now. We are a small operation here, but like super popular. Honestly, I'm really surprised that we got recommended. Let's see. Right, I'm gonna finish reading this up. So what I do here, since it would be polite to explain, I think. No, we leave you in the dark. It's like a Christopher Nolan movie. Except, wait, you can definitely understand what I'm saying. It's like a Christopher Nolan movie, where you can't understand. Anyways. I think I'm funny. I take writing prompts from my friends. Scarlet Fury is currently reigning champion with the largest number of prompts. And I write one-page short stories, little flash fiction, based on the prompt. And yeah, there's not much more to it than that. So let's see. Finish this up. We've got a person joins the Flash Fiction Club only to learn flashing is not part of the agenda. Yeah, I don't know how cool it really is. I don't feel cool, but I have fun with it. I mean, look at me. This is not somebody who knew a lot about what cool was back in the day. And now I've just aged out of it. Yeah, I feel like you can't really be terribly cool after the age of like 25. It's just downhill, old and sad. So, Tanshi dropped us 2 characters fall in love despite barely understanding each other, both bad at English between them, so they end up making their own language, mixing all 3. And Scarlet Fury, actually an older prompt that got lost in the shuffle, was Sphinx tries to come up with new riddles because humans have memorized all of the answers to all of her old ones. And then I had commented, but I'm rubbish with prompts, and she said, that's why she used the same ones for 2,000 years. So, one of these did jump out at me. It was the locksmith one, of all things. Oop-a-doop. So this will be story 128. And I'm one of those, you get your 2 different kinds of writers. You got your, like, Discovery and your outliner. So you get your, like, Discovery would be, like, Stephen King, and outliner would be Brandon Sanderson. So, I'm on the outliner end of... I'm more on the outliner end of that particular spectrum. So I have an idea for this story. I mean, that's why I picked it. But I have an idea for this story, but I'm trying to think about what angle to approach it from. Locksmith. I'm having ideas. Okay, okie dokie. Alright. How's it going? And we're back. And... Oh. It looks like we're back down. It's telling me I'm back down to one viewer, so... Alas. Alas and oh well. It'll actually be really funny if it's like Kevin W. and not Scarlet Fury, who I'm expecting. But... I think I'm usually expecting it to be Scarlet Fury still hanging out. Hey, Scarlet Fury. All right. So, we have Alex B's prompt. We were going to have to find a locksmith. And here's what that turned out. And this is vaguely based on a true story. They were going to have to find a locksmith. A real problem, considering the best locksmith any of the crew knew was currently inside the safe, screaming for someone to let him out. Diamond, not his real name, pinched the bridge of his nose and uttered a weary sigh. This had all gone so well, until now. They'd gotten the safe out, they'd cracked it, they'd gotten the goods, then it all went tits up. Then, Spades, the locksmith, not his real name, had to go and trip and fall into the safe. Then Clubs, the muscle, but as far as anyone knew, that may have been his real name, thinking he was a real comedian, threw the safe door closed. Then it clicked. Do any of you know how to crack a safe of this or any caliber? Diamond asked. Club stared at him blankly. Hart started laughing until Diamond shot him a glare. I do! Spades called from inside the safe, his voice muffled as to be barely audible. Well, that doesn't do us any good now, does it? Diamond roared. We need a plan. A plan sprang to mind, unbidden. A bad one. He pulled out his burner. I'm calling the police. You... What? Look, we don't get him out. He suffocates within the hour. Spade started squealing again. Quiet, you! He said, kicking the side of the safe. You're just wasting oxygen. But, come on, Diamond, this can't be... The police! The phone was already ringing. They can get him out. And he'll turn us in, Hart said. Or take him in. For what, being a ninny who got locked in an empty safe? Diamond turned away as dispatch picked up. Hello, darling. Look, we got a real piece of work here. He got himself locked in his own safe. Could you send someone down here before he suffocates? Cheers. So, two things worth mentioning about this. One, it gives me... about halfway through was when I was like, oh, I'm just writing a... Oh, shit. Guy Ritchie. I'm writing a Guy Ritchie film. Which, I don't know if you know Guy Ritchie. He did Snatch with Brad Pitt. You like Diggs? And Jason Statham. Which, if you haven't seen or know of Snatch, Jason Statham is in a movie with Brad Pitt. It's a lot of fun. You like Degs? Oh, you mean dogs? Yay, you like Degs? It's a really fun cast. The other side of it was, as I was saying, it is based on a true story. This was pre-theater, so it had to be junior high. In junior high, we had a habit in the orchestra of hanging out for reasons I cannot begin to explain. We had a habit of hanging out in the cello and bass lockers. Like we would hang out. We would climb up on top of the lockers. We would go inside the lockers and just, I don't know. It was a thing we just did. And our teacher just kind of never noticed. Like, I have no idea how he never noticed, but he didn't. And one day, a friend went into one of the lockers, my buddy Rambo, and another kid named Jared came up, and the lock was still hanging, because we would like close the door and then we would slot the padlock through it so the person couldn't get out, but like, you know, whatever. And this dipshit walks up and goes, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if the lock actually click?" And he grabbed it to kind of jiggle it to like prove his point, you know? And he was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if it actually locked?" Click. And we all just stood there for a second and we're like, "Oh, fuck." And we were like, "We don't know whose locker this is. Rambo is locked in the locker and we don't know whose locker it is." And a second later, we hear, like, from inside the locker, like, "Hey, guys, what's going on?" It's like, "Oh, shit!" Fortunately for our dumbasses, it actually belonged to a kid named Will Bizarre, who... It was his locker, so he just unlocked it for us. We kind of stopped doing it after that. So that was kind of the I wanted to do kind of the I guess the more dramatic version of that story. All right. So we got one down. I, having plowed through most of this, need to take a short bio break. I will be back in just a second. So yeah. Un momento. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. But, you know, human biology is a thing. I don't know what's going on. You will have to explain it to... I mean, I think it's just you, Scarlet Fury, but you'll have to explain it to me regardless. What? I don't know what's happening. Oh no. There was a going away memo. So, sorry, I'm actually curious. I almost want to go back and rewatch some of these at some point, just because I never know what it looks like when, because I do this sometimes with Cassie, where I'll be talking, right, and I'll be like, yeah, da 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 da, and then I like look away, and I start thinking about a story, and the next thing I know, like 5 minutes have passed. I'm like, wait, where am I? What happened? And I really want to know what that looks like from the outside. Just suddenly, Shane just kind of zones in on one thing, and it's just like, maybe, I don't know, a bit of drool. No drool. I imagine it like JD from Scrubs. It's really... Oh, man, no, JD was definitely one of the characters that I'm like, I relate to that. That's how it is in my brain. Oh, man. I fucking love that show. I was looking to see if you could get, like, how expensive it would be to get, seasons 1 through 8, I think. That's the complete show. There's no season 9. There's just 8, if I remember correctly. Oh, here comes my other roommate. My other roommate is a pretty cool kid. I actually really wish he had moved in not during a pandemic, because I feel like if he's still around after, life goes back to normal, I want to invite him to go to the bar, because he's a good dude. Okay. Good kid. So I have an idea, Scarlet Fury. I want to do your medieval adventurers sitting around a table at a local tavern, try one-upping each other. I want to do this, but I want to put a twist on it. I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay with it. I want to take this in a little bit of a different direction than I normally would, because I have an idea and I really like it. I think you'll like it, but you're like, no, bitch! How dare you? That's you to me. Oh, it's a pretty lady. Can I? Can you see? Is pretty lady, pretty lady, pretty lady. She's a delicate lady. She will zoom, but she mostly walks at that speed. She's very sweet. Cassie finally got to pet her, actually. It took... How long have we been doing this? Sometime since last summer? So... But she finally warmed up. I kinda like to meet a pretty woman. You look lovely as can be. Are you lonely just like me? Were you there the day I was with somebody? I think I was with Tim back in high school, and I was like, hey Tim, you want me to do something embarrassing in public? And he was like, no. And my then girlfriend was walking down like half a block ahead. I don't know. And I started belting that song as loud as I could and just watched Tim zip out of the way. It's so funny to me. Because I have such bad social anxiety unless I have the opportunity to embarrass somebody else, and then I can just go for it. So, sounds like Tim, doesn't it though? So we're doing fantasy, so Arthel. So here's the thing. Actually, I might just pop this over so you can see. I remember in one of the other streams somebody recommended using the fantasy name generator, and that's great. Like those kinds of tools have their place, but when it comes to fantasy, what I really like to do is I like to go to behind the name and go to their ancient names, and then just try and grab one and like modify it. So like on here I saw Arthfail, and I was like, Arathel. Arathel sounds like a fantasy name, but it's just got that little bit of grounding in like, oh, there was a name that kind of looked like this. It's just a little thing. Brian. How about Kadarin? What about Kadaris? Wait, what was the bad guy's name in Doctor Strange? Caecilius, I think? Now that I'm thinking about it. Doctor Strange came out in 2016? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Caecilius, okay. Kadaris. Let's grab a couple more. Drust. I like that. Drust. Sounds like a barbarian's name. Maybe Phelan. So if Loek is spelled Luke or look, how would you do Loak? Low, man, is it, no. Loak? Sometimes, so this is actually a fair question also about fantasy. Sometimes you have a Loak. Loke. In all fairness, it could just be fantasy, and I could just say that it's Loak. Loic. Oh, I could wait. Insert special characters. Give me that. Oh fuck. Now we're getting into real noodly fantasy shit. So I'm looking at the mate. There we go. Okay. Ooh. So I've been trying not to crack my neck as much, but that felt real good. Oh. That felt real good too. There you go. All the cracking. This is a ASMR chiropractic channel now. Ugh. All right. So this might actually be the longest I've spent on like the story structure side of things, but like yeah, I kind of needed to. So there you go, Scarlet Fury. We're gonna do just a little bit of formatting because I'm a bit of a neurotic. It's fine. I'm gonna do that right. Okay. Okay, hey there, welcome back, everybody. Scarlet Fury, you still floating around in there? You and your sword? All right, so the prompt was medieval adventurers sitting around a table at the local tavern try one-upping each other by telling their best adventures. So, I went very classical fantasy on this. I know it says medieval, but I wasn't paying attention. And I tried to put a spin on this one. I tried to put a twist on it. I think if I had more time, I could make it fit the idea I had and also Scarlet Fury's, but I'm just going to jump in. All right. The Road's End Tavern would burn to the ground before first light. Loic doubted he'd live to see it. The night had been a good one until the black-plated knight had kicked in the door with blade and magic. Loic... Let's see. Before that, Loic had brought drinks to a table of adventurers as they spun tale after tale. They had come to the Road's End to deal with a cursed dungeon just up the way, and they settled on spending their reward here. They numbered 4 total. Arethel Carreras? I misspell this? Caradris. Cadaris. I know my fantasy names. Cadaris and Drust. Okay, they numbered 4. Arethel, the twins Cadaris and Drust, and the sorceress Phelan. He memorized their names and tried not to stare. Arethel was the first to stand against the Black Knight. He'd been just as quick to invite Loic to join them at the table, his rugged countenance doing nothing to disguise his kind eyes. Eyes that turned cold and stern as he drew his blade against the Black Knight. The same blade that had slain the Dragon of Direland, the beast that had killed King Enric. The same blade the Black Knight impaled the adventurer on for standing in his way. Arethel had told Loic, "You have the look of a young adventurer." Now he was dead. Cadaris and Drust were next, twins armed with bow and dagger, faster than the great white wolf who had hunted the old woods for generations. Arethel's encouragement had drawn mockery and scorn from the twins, who prodded Loic, "You're not ready." He watched as the twins were gutted by the Black Knight before they could defend against his oncoming attack. The sorceress Phelan was on her feet now, eyes glowing as they must have when she brought low the rule of the tyrant emperor Lothric. Even as their tales echoed in Loic's ears, he watched as the Black Knight summoned dark power of his own, shattering Phelan into 1,000 pieces of glass. Her last words echoed to him as well. "Your time will come, Loic." As the Road's End was engulfed with flame, Loic took up Arethel's sword and charged. Must? No? What? Happens? I don't know. I didn't write that part. We'll find out. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Remember when we were talking about doing schools? What? What? Sequels? No, I don't remember that. So I'll take it, though, that I ran with your prompt in an interesting direction. That's why I took so long to kind of try and get the structure. I probably took about twice as long to work on the structure on this one, because I wanted to do like the two timelines of like the conversation where Loic is sitting with these adventurers and they're telling him these tales, and that was kind of the idea, is like they tell him these tales and then the tavern gets attacked and they all stand against this guy. They get wrecked. But like, so as they're doing things, he's like, I would, this is definitely one of those stories I would love to do a longer version of, where you could kind of, kind of almost like the, Watchmen, either version, well, the comic or the, extended Zack Snyder film, which, boy, I have opinions, but, the scene where the original Night Owl is murdered, and he's flashing back to, like, his glory days. And in the comic, it's, like, just kind of, like, tragic, because, like, he's not putting up a good fight. He's just an old man getting beaten to death by, you know, a gang of assholes. But he's, like, still flashing back to his glory days. And in the film, they put it to a really bad, like, a really tragic song, and he goes out like a hero's fucking death. And I admit it gets me. I like that. So I would almost love to do a long form or long, like, short story version of this that involves having the time to kind of, like, I still like the idea of bouncing back and forth, but the idea of, like, really digging into, like, well, what were these stories and what did the heroes tell him? And, like, you've got the one who's like, hey, you've got the look of an adventurer about you. And you've got the ones who are like, kid, get out of here. And then the one who, you know, like, your time will come. I like all of that. I love everything that went into this, actually. I think it works really well. I just would love to spend a little bit more time kind of exploring it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I would also not mind knowing what happened to Arthel. Not Arthel, Loic. I would not mind finding out where that story goes, but I think that's... I like the idea of... This is... I almost feel like this is how adventurers get started, right? Or this is what, like, this... I like this kind of passing of the torch, right? Of one generation to the next. And like, obviously in real life, this would be fucking horrifying. But in fiction, I think there's, like, a nice dramatic symmetry to it all. So, and there is I know you don't, Scarlet Fury, I still implore you, I think if you give Critical Role just a chance, I think, you will find... I got Little Druid into Critical Role, mind you. I was like, hey, just give this one a shot, just tell me what you think, and she fucking blasted through it. So, like, the twins, in, Critical Role, the twins are, Vex and Vax. Vax'ildan and Vexalia. So, like, I was pulling a little bit from that. Arathel is definitely Aragorn. And then Phelan, the sorceress, I can't think of a specific woman sorceress from fantasy fiction, but it just feels like, that feels, not cliched, it feels cliched, but it does feel like an archetype that you can pull from. Which is definitely something you've got to do here in one page. But, alright. And we're almost at 2 hours for this session, so actually I think I'm just going to wrap this up fairly quick and try and hit 2 minutes on the dot. So I'm just going to call it, guys. This was a lot of fun. I really liked how these stories turned out. And, yeah, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to write. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do 2:30 again. We definitely... Oh, it's 8, 9... 2 hours! Woo! Okay, I didn't get off. Now we're going to be here for 1 more hour. No, we're not. I don't know if I'll hang out at the 2:30 time again. Because I definitely noticed that we only had... one regular viewer and then, like, a couple people pop in and out. So it feels like the writing community seems to come alive a little closer to evening. So, I don't know what I'll do with that information. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know, Scarlet Fury. I'm glad you like the prompt. I will think on it because I do think that this has got... I'm invested. Y'all are night owls. See, I'm not. I write better in the morning. I'm so much more creative first thing in the morning. Writing in the evening is the fucking worst. I hate it so much. Like, I can do, like, if I get a good day where I start early, I can do a couple thousand words. If I get started after, like, 5 or 6 o'clock, it is so hard for me to get, like, I might make, like, 500 words. And that'll be, like, pulling teeth the whole time. Every writer's different. Alright. Now, though, I do think I'm going to call it. See if there's anyone we can raid. Just the two of us. Okay. There's a couple. You could pop over to... Well, it looks like Travis is online, so... Yeah, okay. Well then, that is all I have to say. That's all I have to write. Remember, no heroes in 2021. I'll see you tomorrow.